Okay, so welcome to Secret Squirrels. We are irreverent updates on conspiracy news and related information in association with Jerome Corsi and CorsiNation.com. And our hashtag is Hide Your Nuts. Yeah, change that. So, and I also added some memes to our splash screen there so that we can have a little fun with that. There's a few memes in there. You guys want to share some memes and keep the entertainment going? You can do that too. We got quite a few people in here today, and I'm happy about that. That's good. So now the trick is to try to find some audience members. That's not so bad.
Let's like ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Sel.
Oh, I got this background music on too loud. I got to turn that down.
Barely hear you, brain. Seriously.
Oh. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to turn my volume on my mic up a little bit here. How's this? Getting closer? Getting closer? Closer? Okay. Well, he must be listening. Yeah, okay. So, anyway, this music is a little bit loud for me today. I'm not sure what's going on with it. It's just in my ear. Why is it so loud? All right, we're going to move to the browser. Okay, so let me get back to the right page. Here we go. This is well, just a minute. I can go back. Let me see. I got to turn that music off though. Those are just memes, man. They're just memes. Yeah, we got all sorts of memes in there, and we always need more. Of course, we need more memes. Never enough memes. Yeah, we got this news today that hopefully Dr. Corsi is going to be coming back on Monday, and I think even at that point he's not going to be able to say a whole lot. But you know that's what we're looking for. We're looking for some little Dr. Corsi. It'll be nice to get him back on. You know. Back. Yeah, no, that is more important. Yeah. It is to me, but yeah, we got I don't know, nothing particularly great, but there's a couple stories in here. You know, I want to cover some Huffington Post articles. You know, that's important. Huffington Post. California wildfire suspect posted about QAnon and other conspiracies. So so according to Huffington Post, and you know that they're reliable and everything, you know, they've caught somebody. There's some kind of suspect for the California wildfire, and he's a conspiracy theorist, according to them. A man arrested on Tuesday in connection with a devastating wildfire in Southern California is a conspiracy theorist who posted videos about satanic rituals and QAnon. This place is going to burn, Forrest Clark, 51, allegedly texted a volunteer fire chief 2 weeks before an inferno enveloped Orange County, burning nearly 20,000 acres and destroying 12 homes. The holy fire still rages and is only 5% contained. What do you guys think? You think? Yeah, well, I yeah. And anybody who's thinking that conspiracies exist are obviously crazy nutcases, you know, and that would be us. And so you could, yeah, nobody would conspire to, you know, no rich, famous people would ever conspire to become more rich and famous. That would never happen. You'd have to be crazy to think that would happen. Yeah. So I mean, these fires thing. I think it's not even control as such. I think it's just sheer. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that it's this desperation that the deep state did start those fires. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised that they were just trying to kill people on the one hand, and then just distract us and give us some kind of news to cover. I mean, these guys are willing to kill people just so that they don't get on the news. That's yeah.
Civil defense alert system, so that boy, if they try to pull off anything, he's going to go nuclear with that.
I just realized that I turned the wrong volume button
listening
down
over and over again to this propaganda, so much so that I'm wondering if the majority of people are even going to listen to Trump with any validity.
Well, majority, no, because I don't think these people are a majority. They think they're a majority, but they're not.
Thanks.
Totally. Yeah, no, Arrow, totally agree with you. I've been saying this for years, and my brother and I and my stepdad, we Wednesday night pizza nights, and we talk politics. And for years, I've been saying, the mainstream media tries to make the country think that those that are throwing fits in the streets are the majority, and they're not. They're not even close. They're not even close. There's such such a small percentage of this population, but it's the only thing that furthers their new world order agenda. So they're showing it and making it. Yep, absolutely.
Media blows it up to make it look so much more significant than it really is.
Yeah.
And if we get a handle on, if President Trump gets a handle on illegal voting, voter fraud, if he can get a handle on that, it'll be proven 10 times over. It'll be proven that there's such a small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really hard for people in California to have a objective point of view on how the American people feel, because we happen to live in California, and having traveled recently, every place else that we went, I mean, it was mostly in the Midwest and on the East Coast, but not big cities, but everybody really is very positive. Everybody we talk to is really positive about President Trump, and Arrow wears InfoWars t-shirts and he got some compliments. And I think in California we have a very skewed view of how the country really thinks and feels about President Trump.
Oh, it's bizarre. I had two former professors of mine, older instructors that I had in the past, that were saying that we need to do away with the Electoral College and just run with the popular vote. And I said, then you're going to get the West Coast and the East Coast determining the ideology of the rest of the country. And I said, isn't that fascism? And I haven't heard from them since.
Yeah. Good for you.
But do you feel bad?
Not at all. It's despicable. It's despicable that people think, you live in a city your whole life. You haven't gone. Some of them, people that I know that haven't even gotten out of the outskirts of their county, they're going to go and tell people in another part of the country how to live, and it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a cow before. Come on.
And they're all miserable. Well, if you look around where we live in the Bay Area, you go take a walk or something, people avoid eye contact. They look unhappy. They're angry. They don't seem like they're happy people.
Right. And
I watch
the outskirts to the
I gotta say, the happiest people in the few states that we traveled through were West Virginia. Wow, they were soaring. They were so cool.
That's great.
You are all invited to Iowa. Anytime you want to come to Iowa, I have 5 bedrooms upstairs, and you guys are all invited. That's
Excellent.
the truth.
Is that in the cab?
What's that?
You got 5 bedrooms in the cab of your truck?
I don't live in my truck, okay?
I saw movies.
I don't even want to know.
You know what a real conspiracy would be is if people actually saw that we were a bunch of squirrels broadcasting as humans.
Oh my God!
Hey man, don't be letting out our secrets.
It's a conspiracy. They're not going to follow up anyway, so we're good. Let's go get some nuts after this.
My voice modifier just fell off.
Okay, our next story is about Keith Ellison. Anybody ever heard anything about Keith Ellison? Who's this guy?
Is he gone yet?
Oh, actually, yes. There are. Where is he in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
They have put Minneapolis or Minnesota, wherever he's at. It's one of the M's.
Yeah.
Wherever he is at, the paper there actually got a legal defense team together to unseal his divorce records. They want to see what kind of domestic violence was involved with his divorce.
Well, it's only fair if they're digging up all this dirt on Kavanaugh, then they're obviously that means that we can look into their past, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Well, we got to be careful of that. Yeah, we got to be careful of turning the tables when it has to do with individual liberty. In my opinion, that's how the bad guys sort of get a leg up, is that, oh, if we're out for, power over our enemy, then we get this right that didn't exist before, and they use it to destroy us. So we got to be careful about that.
I've got to address our 5 audience members out there. Obviously, Arrow is new here. He doesn't realize that we are just joking around most of the time. So he's here giving us serious responses. But
okay.
So I don't know if his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife is the one that came out recently, because she is a Democrat, and she says the Democratic Party basically told her to go get bent. They didn't want to hear her issues.
Yeah, well, this story is about, Keith Ellison wants to flood Minnesota and the U.S. with 110,000 refugees in 2019. And somehow he thinks he's going to force the president to do that. I don't know how he thinks he's going to do that, but over the next over the next fiscal year, he wants to increase it by 300%, the number of refugees in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's running for governor, isn't it? Or attorney general? What is he running for?
Well, supposedly, according to this article, he holds a slight lead in the polls.
Well, so did Hillary.
Russ can confirm this. Minneapolis is one of the most A, liberal, and B, Muslim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have their own mall.
Yes, it's pretty thick up there.
It's crazy.
Didn't used to be. Yeah, it's changed dramatically since the 70s when I was there.
Yeah, I've seen some YouTube videos, and it was incredible what those towns actually look like now. It's just like the ghettos. And then, of course, I guess they have, what is it called, the Mall of America or something crazy like that.
Is that in Minnesota?
But, the towns themselves were literally replicas of the rundown ghettos that they came from. These people are not assimilating. And
well, there's a huge amount of Swedes and Norwegians and Scandinavians there in Minnesota, and I can't help but wonder if the globalists are running the same strategy against basically the same people that came to America and set up their cultures there, that they've been running in Sweden. And of course, now in Sweden things are beginning to turn, but it's just it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you should see that YouTube video. That whoever the guy was that was driving the vehicle was the one that was, of course, in charge of the YouTube video, and he drove around just in shock.
I put up a picture of a really recent picture of Minnesota in Minneapolis, just so you know what Minneapolis looks like these days. Anyway, I'm sorry for
just funny. I caught it. Yep. No, that's a good movie, by the way.
It was an excellent movie.
Yeah, it is good.
Based on a true story. You guys know it, right?
No. Will you tell us about it? Do you have a link?
Tell us a story, Uncle Brain. Tell us a story.
Listen to these people.
Yeah.
You guys realize what I have to put up with, all you audience members. You see this panel here. This is a daily thing for me. This is my life.
Are you whining?
Yes, I'm whining.
It's even worse than it seems, isn't it?
I'm whiny squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next story is from the Daily Mail, very reputable paper again. The law student, 20, pours water mixed with bleach onto men's groins on the Russian metro to stop them from manspreading. Yeah.
Manspreading.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people? I swear.
Look at this. They got pictures of her pouring water onto guys' groins.
It is traumatic.
Goodness. Holy
So you get these guys riding the bus and the subway and stuff, and then they get this dose of water poured on them, all because of the way that they're biologically constructed.
Is she going to go to jail for assault or something?
Should.
Well,
Yeah.
the bleach is supposed to be so that it ruins their clothing. So this bleach, she pours bleach on it so that it gives a big spot on their clothes.
Or gives them a punk rock haircut down there.
Yeah, so if they were to do the same and just throw it in her face or something...
I imagine it would make you uncomfortable for the rest of the day. Whatever you had planned, it's going to be kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if a guy...
They need some help.
It would take everything I could imagine for a guy to restrain himself from pushing her down or striking her.
You know, it's like you're raised not to hit a girl, but this kind of situation, this might cause you to...
Your knee-jerk reaction. Your knee-jerk reaction is to get away from me.
Yeah.
Well, it's assault. It's assault.
Freak.
Yeah, there you go. Freak.
Yeah, an assault against my thinking capacity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's cute. She's a cute girl. That's why she gets away with it.
I changed the meme. I changed back to the meme, and this is a meme that was put out by Space Force. I just put it in a big folder, But, Space Force is my favorite Twitter account. You guys should look it up, U.S. Space Force, because they have all sorts of cool...
they're great.
Yeah, they got really cool memes that they put on there, and they're really funny about, declassifying
He's
what?
obviously protecting himself from a bleach attack.
Yes.
Who was that? What movie was that? Anybody help me out?
Dr. Strangelove.
Dr. Strange, yeah.
Just what in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Yeah.
The guy?
Were you in that movie?
Hilarious.
Sorry.
So I
nailed it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Did you memorize that? You just happen to remember that? I mean, how did you just...
I heard another awesome one-liner from a movie today. I came here to chew bubble gum. What is it? I came here to chew bubble gum and to kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Yeah, what movie is that?
Rowdy Piper from, what is that called?
They Live.
Yep.
Excellent conspiracy movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so our the next story is Avenatti. Uh-oh. Even liberals are starting to turn on Michael Avenatti after his latest stunt.
What was his latest stunt?
Well,
the third lady to accuse Kavanaugh.
Now, was that a fake?
They're all fakes. What are you talking about?
Well, no, I'm wondering if they caught him at it and they're calling him out, because I saw a meme that showed him with a woman's wig on.
Supposedly 4chan is calling him out on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, so now what they're saying with that nut is that she's saying that she didn't really meet Kavanaugh. He didn't attack her personally. She's saying that he was putting drugs into women's drinks and that he was there when he witnessed her being gang raped now. But of course she doesn't.
Yeah, and she was, and it came out that she was in college that year, and she wasn't even around to be gang raped. It's just total nonsense.
Yeah. So,
the best tweet I saw about that is that she's a horrible person either way. If she let all these women get raped and did nothing, or if she made it up. I mean, either way, she's scum.
Yeah. So basically, they're just coming up with all different kind of stuff, just to cause chaos. That's all it is. Just to cause chaos and to project that, there's something wrong with Kavanaugh.
That's a great meme. Good meme.
And now Christine Ford's newly released polygraph report contradicts previous claims about alleged assault by Kavanaugh.
Wow, I didn't see that one.
It's on the Gateway Pundit. And I'll put it into Discord because there's too many.
Okay, we might get back to that. Well, but the one I have queued is what is this? Sarah Carter story on Deep State Unmasked. You should give increased scrutiny to conservative groups. That's a staff writer for the Sarah Carter website. So this is the Project Veritas story.
Right.
So
what does it mean, Brain? What does it mean?
What is this? People give me a hard time. It's so hard being green. Wait.
Tell us, Uncle Brain. Tell us.
Okay. Yeah, I can survive this. You guys don't worry about me.
We're waiting.
We'll be good.
I'm scrolling. I don't know what you guys are looking at, but I'm looking at it.
Is the squirrel okay,
We're
Uncle
looking
Brain?
at news we can't ignore.
Yep. Oh, that's a good meme.
Sarah's got a pretty decent logo.
That's nice.
I don't understand why it's a blue with a white outline when it's reversed out of blue, but okay.
It's got 2 of the Illuminati pyramids in it. 2 of them.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
Couldn't resist that.
And if you weren't with us last night, boys and girls, we found out all about the pyramids.
Oof.
Did we?
I saw some of that.
I should have been there for that. I must have missed it.
All about the Merovingians and woo.
Okay, so let me see what other stories we got in here. I got Kellyanne Conway. That one's ready to go. Let me get that one posted here. And
what are they doing to attack her now?
No, it's her comments. She's saying Kellyanne Conway on second Oops, I keep getting these pop-up ads. You got 2 ad blockers going, and they still get the pop-up ads going around it. Kellyanne Conway on second Kavanaugh accuser feels like a vast left-wing conspiracy.
Yes.
Could it be?
Girl.
So, going down the road, I gotta get rid of this window here. Okay, Kellyanne Conway
is a conspiracy theorist.
That's right.
Yes.
Kellyanne Conway, senior counselor to the president, and she was the campaign advisor, wasn't she? Isn't that what they're?
Yes.
So, told Nora O'Donnell of CBS News on Monday morning that the overnight emergence of allegations from a second so-called accuser of Judge Brett Kavanaugh felt like a vast left-wing conspiracy. Yeah. New York Times, reliable news source, says that they interviewed dozens of people over the past couple of weeks trying to verify the second accusation, and they couldn't go forward with the reporting. Not because they're supportive of President Trump's Supreme Court nominees, but because they have some standards. Can you imagine this? Saying good things.
Really?
You're in a position where the left is so nutcase that even the New York Times has to say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know. Yeah. Okay, I guess that would be...
Failing New York Times, as President Trump likes to say.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at that.
So,
Mark Levin calls them the New York Slimes.
And then we have Think Progress. You just know that this is a reliable source. I've never come across this website before, but I know just from the title of it that we can trust this.
I'm buying it.
Yeah. Conspiracy theorist Republican congressman blames Obama after siblings film ad for his opponent. Birther, Representative Paul Gosar, Republican of Arizona, says the former president made his family be mean to him.
Wow.
There he is. There's a man standing in his grandeur. Last week, a Democratic candidate in Arizona running for Congress released a unique campaign ad that quickly went viral. In it, a group of citizens explained why they are backing Democratic David Brill in the November midterms over incumbent Representative Paul Gosar. At the end of the ad, it is revealed that they are all Gosar's brothers and sisters. On Monday...
Yeah, I heard about this, yeah. I couldn't help think of so many families like this, and the fact that they would make a campaign ad where all of the siblings would turn against their brother that's running. It's just, that kind of sums up the level of division we've got here.
So if I recall, I think it was 2 out of the family of 8 or something like that.
And I wonder what kind of money they were offered.
Yeah.
So after,
you got to hand it to Obama. He's more active. A lot of presidents retire, but he stayed pretty active. He's working hard.
Listen, I hope you're being facetious about that.
I am being facetious, but I really do think he's more dangerous as a community organizer with the presidential credibility that he had. Now that he's out and he doesn't have to be in the public eye, he's dangerous.
And you are now dubbed Facetious Squirrel.
Okay. I'm getting back to my nuts now.
Okay. Gosser was apparently referencing seemingly innocuous comments that Obama made earlier this month, encouraging college students in Illinois to get involved and you get engaged and you knock on some doors and you talk with your friends and you argue with your family members and you change some minds and you vote. Something powerful happens.
You don't change minds. I've been working out for 5 years. And I'm the crazy.
Hold on. I'm going to say something, and this is strictly my opinion, but I have several friends who have been middle of the road, and I'm going to tell you, a couple of them I even thought leaned left slightly, who are so sick of liberals at this point in time, and have actually come out and said that. They have come out and said, you know, whenever a political argument starts, my Republican friends seem to bring facts and patience, and my liberal friends resort to name calling and lying. And she goes, I was never very political. I was never, and I always said I thought she leaned to the left just a little bit. She said, but I'm definitely voting Republican next time, and I'm definitely a Trump follower. So, and that's just, like I said, my opinion, but I think that's happening more and more.
Yeah, I think that's the walk-away movement in a nutshell. That's the mindset.
I have a friend that was violently against the Republicans during the Obama administration. He's a homosexual man and very liberal. And I went out to brunch with him not too long ago, and he told me that he voted for Trump.
Absolutely outstanding.
I was shocked. Yeah.
Well, it's the herd mentality versus the people that can actually think and analyze and come to their own conclusions.
Concur.
So this next story, watch on hidden camera, resistance icon admits he gets paid big cash from Democratic leaders to attack Trump on Twitter and sow division. And so, I guess these dang pop-up windows. Okay, of course there are higher-ups that are paying us. They want us to help sow the division and take over Trump's Twitter feed. When Trump makes a post, they want our tweets to be up there. Brian Krasenstein admits to being paid for anti-Trump tweets in secret recording.
This guy's so notorious. he's retweeted by all of the mind-controlled lefties. It's amazing, the people that buy into his tweets.
I really feel like Twitter plays into this too, because I used to be able to do searches on Twitter and try to hijack trends and things like that, but Twitter has really cracked down on what they even let me see when I do a search.
Errol, we're getting a little feedback from your microphone. She's talking, so just let you know.
Thanks.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, where did I lost my place? Okay, after the FBI gave the Krasenstein or Krasenstein, what do you think? Anyway, brothers a free pass. The James Comey and Andrew McCabe FBI at work. Normally, when federal agents kick your doors down and take close to $500,000, any normal person would feel disdain for the federal law enforcement machine, but not Brian and Edward Krasenstein. In fact, Brian just helped bundle between $12,000 and $15,000 for fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe's GoFundMe account for legal fees. Do you guys contribute to McCabe's GoFundMe account?
It's a GoFMe account, but
I did.
no.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, look at what happened with Ted Cruz and his wife at dinner the other night. How do those people get there in time? I mean, they've got to have people staking them out, and this is all organized. It's community organization 101.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for a Republican to lose their temper and light somebody up.
Of course, we do not support that here on the Secret Squirrels. We are pacifistic.
No, I know, but
we are pacifistic squirrels.
I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it reeks of a OF8 kind of a organization.
Oh, OF8?
That's
Organizing for Action, Obama for Action, or whatever. Obama for America. You know, that whole. They actually let people know through their mobile apps that there's going to be something going on in their area because they've got it all scoped down to the local level, and they get all their herd mentality leftists to swarm on whatever it is that's happening.
Yeah, like the KKK meeting in or march in Charlotte. Was that where it was?
Well, I'm not sure that was exactly that, but yeah, they do that kind of thing. Like, especially like if there's a congressman that's holding a town hall meeting or anything like that. If it's a Republican, they'll get the leftists to come and try to disrupt his meeting, stuff like that.
So the next story is the Fabian Society website about conspiracy theories concerning the Fabian Society.
They don't really have a wolf as their mascot, do they? That's just a conspiracy.
Yeah, and I'm sure that
it's an inside job for attention.
Yeah, so this is. I guess they had to respond. You know, they had to respond if there's some kind of conspiracy theory out there telling us that that they're bad guys. Who are the Fabian Society? And this is all according to the Fabian Society website. This, I imagine, is the question on the lips of everyone unfamiliar with us. But until Ben Carson's accusation this weekend that we are fueling allegations of sexual assault against Brett Kavanaugh, President Trump's nominee to the Supreme Court, as part of an elaborate plan to take over America. So who is the Fabian Society?
Wait a minute. I read the Ben Carson thing, and he didn't mention the Fabian Society by name that I know. Are they just sort of receiving that as if just he might have been talking about them?
I don't know. But here's it says, I recommend you keep your wits about you as you try to find out more about us. Steer far away from our website, and you'll likely stumble upon a number of blogs, threads, and YouTube videos titled Beware of the Fabian Society, the truth about the Fabian Society, the Fabian Society exposed, and so on. In other words, don't do any homework on them. Who are the Fabian Society?
I tell you.
But you know, what does history tell us about the Fabian Society? You know, well, I think we have to go back to the Bolsheviks, right? You had the Bolshevik Revolution. But there was actually another party that was going on in that time too. It wasn't just the Bolsheviks the Bolsheviks were actually a minority interest, or the number of people in the Bolsheviks. Basically, it's a small group of people that controlled a larger group of people, and the larger group of people were called the Mensheviks. And that's my impression of who the Fabians are. Is basically the Mensheviks that wanted.
If memory serves, the Huxleys were also associated with the Fabian Society, Julian and Aldous Huxley.
Yeah, so the Fabians are, they're socialists. I mean, that's the bottom line. They're just socialists, and they try to masquerade as whatever they need to. And there's not even a whole lot of masquerade necessary over there in England, because they are thick with lefties over there. All of Europe is infected with them. They're infected with the lefties. So, anyway. How about this little line, this paragraph here? Another very popular theory is that the Fabian Society, like the Freemasons, has several secret levels of initiation with an inner Fabian elite. Never. According to this theory, most people involved in the society actually have no idea of its true agenda, and are just a front for the fraud at the heart of the organization. Yeah.
I thought after Fabian died that this whole fan club fell apart.
That's what they want you to believe.
I was going to try and make a joke about that, but I couldn't remember if that was his actual name or not. But anyway.
You're talking about Fabio?
He was, Fabian, he was a
Fabio Society.
He was with Annette Funicello in movies and stuff like that.
There you go. So. I can't think of a song, or I'd sing it.
I can't think of one either.
I can't.
I can see Annette Funicello in a polka dot two-piece bathing suit on a beach, but I don't remember what she was saying or singing. That was a long time ago. Even I was a little kid then.
Yeah, somebody's telling me in the Discord chat, somebody says, pacifistic squirrels? Really? No, not really. No, you don't take anything we say here on the Squirrels seriously. Come on, we're just joking around, having a good time.
What?
What?
Don't think about these conspiracy theories.
Seriously?
Well, talk about stuff that is
probably... Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
We're just talking.
Exactly.
We're just talking. It's just fun to ruminate on these things. So this one I got. This one I found. I figure Abigail's going to find this one most interesting. But this is on the Black Vault website, and that's a very fun website to click around on. But this is a UFO case from Japanese Airlines, JAL 1628, in November 17 of 1986.
Come fly with us.
They just landed.
And this is an article written 21st September. That was only a few days ago. The Fringe, UFO phenomena. Yeah, 17 years ago, after being told the documents relating to this event were destroyed, I finally found them. So it's just a report. This article is a report on this incident, and it's a Boeing 747 cargo plane en route from Paris to Narita, Japan. And anyway, they got a couple of UFOs. Yeah. So they abruptly say, what does it say? The crew first witnessed two unidentified objects to their left. They abruptly rose from below and closed in to escort their aircraft. Each had rectangular rays of what appeared to be glowing nozzles or thrusters through their bodies remained obscured by darkness. When closest, the aircraft's cabin was lit up and the captain could feel their heat on his face. Not sure how that works. It must be pretty hot to go all the way through all that air, traveling who knows how fast, and that heat is being, felt by the captain through the windshield. I don't know.
Now, did you think I'd be interested in this because of the aliens or because of the Beaujolais? The wine.
Well, I was thinking aliens. I don't even know what that kind of wine is. Beaujolais, you're getting fancy on me.
Oh, it comes in a box.
I'm a very simple squirrel. I don't know those fancy wines.
Well, it doesn't matter what kind of wine it is.
Straw option on the side. Outlawed in California, however.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever heard this before. So yeah, I am interested in the alien aspect of this.
So these two craft departed before a third, much larger, disc-shaped object started trailing them. Anchorage Air Traffic Control obliged and requested an oncoming United Airlines flight to confirm the unidentified traffic. But when it and a military craft sighted JAL 1628 at about 1751, no other craft could be distinguished. The sighting lasted 50 minutes. 50 minutes. This is not just a little blip.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So you got two little UFOs and then a big one that came in afterwards and trailed them. A big 747 Boeing. So...
Yeah, that's. I haven't ever. I mean, I've never had like close encounter of the third kind or anything, but I was once in a place where for like 3 or 4 nights in a row, every night at the same time, these orange lights lit up in the sky, and every time they would light up, you could hear jets scramble somewhere, and. I don't know what they were, but they were unique.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it was. And the interesting thing for me was a couple of years after I saw that, and I was with other people too. Other people saw it. But a couple years after I saw that, I heard Dr. Stephen Greer giving a talk about different experiences that they'd had, and some people in the community that is kind of related to him were in the same place where I saw those lights, and they reported seeing those kind of lights there on a regular basis. Mysteries.
What's this little link take us to? It's a PDF on the Black Vault site. And I really do recommend you guys look at that. It's called theblackvault.com. I do recommend you take a perusal of that site. It's got some really cool stuff on there.
Have you guys seen that new program that's advertising right now about the jet that took off 5 years ago and just landed?
I haven't watched it yet, but it looks good.
Seems intriguing, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
What is it? Is it a History Channel or?
No,
no.
It's a fiction. It's a series where a plane took off 5 years ago and they just landed and everything is normal to them, but everybody receiving them said your plane and flight disappeared 5 years ago.
What?
Sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
I know.
Yeah, kind of. Yep.
We need some Twilight Zone. That's a talented squirrel right there.
He's the sound effect squirrel.
One of the things I noticed recently was a graph that actually had UFO sightings over time. And what's really interesting about the graph is it's gradually increasing over the last several decades until about 2014, and then it rapidly drops off, like, the graph is kind of falling off a cliff. So the UFOs sightings have decreased for some reason, and I think this reporting service is basically it's worldwide, and I don't think it's something that's controlled. I think it's a very real decrease. I was looking for that graph to kind of paste it in here so that I don't know.
Did you guys hear about how Fukushima reported all kinds of sightings of UFOs during that whole meltdown?
No,
I didn't.
I mean, how do you stop that when they were completely in doubt whether or not it was going to be something that they could control? And apparently they were seeing a bunch of UFOs, and I don't know. I mean, where does that stand? Is it still a problem? Is it still leaking radioactive water into the ocean, or?
Well, we're actually aware.
So I won't go swimming this week.
You're going to Japan.
Yeah.
There's technology that could have reversed that stuff, but of course it can't be revealed. So if it's dangerous, we think they wouldn't tell us otherwise, and if it's been fixed, they can't tell us otherwise. So how do you know?
Right.
Well, it seems like fear is one of the great means of control they have. So I think a lot of time, and I'm not offering an opinion about Fukushima because I don't have a strong one, but sometimes I think they tell us things are worse than what they actually are, just to kind of keep the fear vibe high. But maybe not in this case. I mean, there are other times, obviously, when they lie to us and tell us things are better than they are. So.
Right.
Kind of like when I go on a dating app, I tell them that I'm 6'4" and
full of muscles.
Got $250,000 in the bank.
Oh, you're one of those. What do they call those? Catfishers.
Yeah, only I'm more of a guppy.
I don't know, and make me a Vegemite sandwich.
Ooh.
You guys know that song, right?
Fukushima.
6'4".
Land Down Under.
Yeah.
Well, what are we looking at here, Brain?
These are.
Hold on. What was that, Godzilla?
I was going to go swimming. Wait, I was going to go swimming, but look.
Oh, it's a Texas mosquito.
Oh boy.
Is that Godzilla or is that Mothra?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a shadowy kind of a figure out there. It's big though.
Yeah, this stuff that I'm posting on the video is it's notes and files from a press conference they had in Anchorage, Alaska after this thing.
Drawn by a 5-year-old.
Says the art guy,
Sorry.
Maybe that's what you drew like when you were 5, but that's pretty advanced for me.
Left-handed.
Is that an airplane or a lawn chart?
Initial visual contact of unidentified aircraft. Sightings in front of aircraft for 12 minutes. Lights then move to the left in sight of aircraft 7 to 8 miles out.
That's a cool map right there. I mean, how do you explain the huge jump in technology from 1947 on?
You want to know how I personally explain it, or
you got to read Day After Roswell by Philip Corso.
We read at least parts of Steve Quayle's book about the Nazis and Antarctica and all that. That's a pretty jarring book. And he actually cites, he has copies of declassified government documents. So it's pretty hard to dispute what he's writing now.
Werner von Braun says they had help.
Yeah, that's what Steve Quayle says. What's
the name of the book? I'd like to check it out.
Oh,
but I'm fearful of having my record show up on Amazon because then they'll know I know.
You order it from Steve Quayle.
What about his brother Dan?
I don't.
He can't spell potato.
Hey, I'll grab the link and put it.
You say potato, I say potato.
What was? Oh, I'll tell you. I'll ask later.
So that guy there, now, does he look CIA to you? That's what I want to know. Does he look? I mean, he looks pretty CIA to me.
Isn't that Pamphlet's father?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
And you said Arrow's always serious. Come on.
Come on.
He's got that tequila thing going. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, this is the time to be doing it. I smell hippies.
So what's the news later? I mean, we don't have to discuss this. I'm just looking for an answer real quick. Is Kavanaugh going to get,
had to bring us back to,
is that
bring us back to reality?
Yeah,
huh?
why are we keep talking about Kavanaugh? I mean, we already know the story. This is all just a bunch.
Is it going to happen on Friday? That's all I wanted to know.
They're supposed to do a vote on Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So
only of committee though, and then the other vote will be probably sometime over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Poor guy. He's going to have this cloud over his head for his whole man.
Absolutely.
What a drag.
Only.
Well, I think so. With people waking up, I think there's a growing number of people that'll see him as heroic and not buckling to the pressure, and they know he's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's kind of heroic. Him to have to put up with all that.
Yeah, he could have walked. He could have gave in. He could have caved in, even though he knows he's innocent.
Yeah,
he could have said, "I don't want to do this." Right? Yeah. Exactly.
And even his wife came out the other day and said, he's a fighter just like President Trump is.
Great. It's good to see somebody with a backbone.
Mm-hmm. You got right. There's a change.
Thanks, Abby.
You're welcome. Hope you enjoy it.
I'm going to check it out.
I'm trying to change my properties on these memes because I got it on randomized, but they keep playing the same ones over and over again. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, you guys like those memes? I hope you like the memes.
Yeah.
Because they're fun and stuff.
And Dancer is commenting right now in the chat. That is a cool meme. So there you have it.
Oh, gosh, that's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Oh, and then there's David Hogue down there. Ugh.
Okay.
He's your favorite, right?
Or is it Hog?
Who cares?
Hog. Let's go with Hog.
Who cares?
Boy.
Well, I said Hog, and somebody straightened me out and said Hog. I was like, all right, whatever.
We don't care. It doesn't matter.
Piece of...
Yep.
So I'm looking now to see if there's any other interesting stories we can cover. Just kind of skimming the headlines. I don't know.
I think we should have an all skate like we did last night.
All skate?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Just anybody just talks about anything.
Well, it's always that. What are you talking about?
The disappearance of Jax are wild.
Yeah, what happened to Jax tonight? She never even said goodbye.
I don't know. She's probably mad at me.
Again? No.
Way to go.
Yeah, I'm a bad guy.
It's more exciting and conspiratorial if you say she was, you know, I don't know, kidnapped or something.
There you go.
Abducted.
Adds to the drama.
She kidnapped
Oh, look at this one. I got a story for you. This is just a funny headline. I don't know if the story's any
I smell
good.
hippies.
Through the electronics?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. That's right. That's right.
I have just a couple of odd things to add about Fukushima, since Patriot brought up Fukushima.
We're not going there.
Has anybody else read or heard that?
Oh my God!
There were two great bits of technology being developed there. One was Kangen water, that high pH water was being tested in a hospital on 100 patients for effectiveness at battling cancer. The hospital was inundated by the tsunami. And I've also heard that there was a car factory that was working on manufacturing cars that run on seawater. And that factory was inundated by the tsunami.
And then there's a third too, which has had to do with a cancer treatment thing. You remember that?
Yeah, that was the Kangen Water Hospital. Yeah, that was.
No, okay. I thought it was something else.
There might have been another. Anyway, those are deep conspiracy theories, but people were saying that those things were true at the time.
Soylent Green is people.
Well, it was, wasn't it?
Have you guys seen that movie? Other than
I saw it.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't that funny. Sorry.
It wasn't. It wasn't a funny movie.
Oh come on, everybody, lighten up, Francis.
I saw it when it was new.
Bandito, can you tell us about the accuser's connections to her husband and the uranium deal and all that stuff again?
The accuser's connection. No. Kavanaugh's Ford's brother. No, we talked about this. Right? Patriot. No, okay. There's all kinds of connections. Her brother worked for the law firm that paid Fusion GPS.
Rose Law Firm.
Okay. Yeah, right.
So that was the brother. And then the mother, Kavanaugh's mother, ruled against in a foreclosure proceeding.
Oh, man.
And
right.
The husband, let's see, somebody had a connection to CIA. Her dad? What? I don't know. Anyway,
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, there's just so many reasons that she's not patron saint of accusation. You know, it's as a matter of fact, this is almost like a caricature.
It really is funny.
Of truth. I mean, it's so obvious. But here's the thing. All of us in this group right now have heard all this several times, and 2/3 of the nation has not heard one of those things. Right. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
2/3 of the nation.
But I think Yeah, there's probably less than 1/3 of those, or less than half of that, 2/3 that actually are hardcore believing the lies. There are those people, but I think they're probably less than 1/4 of the people. So there's a huge middle ground there, and I think, the huge middle.
I agree totally with you. Yep.
I don't understand how people can't put themselves in his shoes and to think somebody could come out of the woodwork and accuse you without any backing, any legitimacy to back up your story, and you can still knock somebody off the rails. It's that should scare the heck out of everybody.
I saw a meme today on Facebook that had the liberal side was, what do you think of your mother, your sister, your daughter to not believe these female accusers that come out? And then the flip side of it was, well, I think about my brother, my father, and my son. You know, there's two sides to every story. But here's the thing. Had this came out that she filed a report 36 years ago, or she has been telling newspapers, or you know what I'm saying? If it, okay, God, maybe Kavanaugh.
Like Ellison's accuser.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Then, then we'd think, okay, maybe there's something to this, and maybe we need to check it out, and maybe he isn't Snow White, as pure as driven snow. However, that isn't the case. That isn't what happened. And she didn't go to the cops. She went to politicians that happened to be against him, and she went to one who sat on it until, oh my, it's just, there's so many things that are so obvious.
And on top of that, she scrubbed her images from the internet.
Oh yeah, she had plenty of time to do that.
Yep.
Months.
There's just so many things that tells the person with common sense. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a brainstorm. You don't have to be, you can be a dumb trucker from Iowa and still see it as it is. It's a lie. It's a setup. It's a stall tactic, whatever. And here's the thing. Even if it's just not a stall tactic for time, it is going into the midterms. It's going to prove to those, again, with the air quotation marks here, it's going to prove to those Trump haters that Trump is an animal. He would actually put somebody on the Supreme Court who is a rapist. Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, you already know he grabs pussy, so of course, what else is he gonna?
There you go.
Yeah. Well, good Lord, what was I talking about? Oh, anyway, so thank God
you threw Army life off there.
Yeah. So he, at least he's got his calendars and stuff for, all the way back to the 1980s, which is great. And it's basically his calendar is like saying, I wasn't there at that time. And the same thing with the second one.
Who keeps a calendar like that?
Well, okay. Okay.
OCD.
Yes.
Well, not necessarily, because his mother was a judge.
Exactly.
And that depends on the way that you're trained. And if you are in not only that type of field, I mean, my God, I had paperwork from the 70s that I literally have toted around for more than 40 years.
You don't sound old enough.
Yeah, I am.
Ooh,
so
that was nice.
So I've actually, I bring them to the ones that I feel, that are pertinent. And I'm sure I could go and pull up, calendar of events and things like that, receipts and stuff, old checkbooks, because, your banks and stuff, they get rid of that stuff after a certain period of time. They'll only hold your records for a certain amount of time. And then you have to pay them after, 3 years now or something, to go back and pull up your records and stuff. So good for him for keeping those calendars and stuff. And if he was a judge, literally, if that's what he did whenever he came out of high school, so his mother had trained him already to basically CYA, not necessarily, for these kind of accusations, but for his career? What was his mindset for his career? Did he always want to be a judge? And if so, these are the things that you need to do.
That's a great meme right there.
So it's not that necessarily that they're OCD. It's just the fact that this is one way of keeping accountability for your life, especially if you're going to be a judge or you're going to be in the public eye or something like that. And so thank God he kept those records.
Speaking of God, you guys got to keep saying your prayers. It's going to get tense here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yes, it is. It's going to get ugly.
Yep.
Ugly.
Yeah, they're in a corner. They're backed into a corner, and they're going to be throwing stuff. They're going to be trying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling it's all going to fall like a house of cards.
Oh yeah.
You know, to listen to our president today in that press conference, he is unequivocally, he's not pulling any punches anymore. He's not even trying to hide the fact that he disdains these people and what they're trying to do, and he. It's great. It is absolutely great.
I love that reporter that actually asked about the con job language, and I think that she was actually giving him a softball, and he hit it out of the park, saying, "Yeah, that's it exactly what's going on. It's a con job."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I came in. I caught that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uncle Brandon, you lighting up? I didn't hear the Zippo.
No.
Oh, he just punched into a juice box.
What? What?
Well, didn't they say that wine comes in a box? Maybe you punched a straw into a juice box.
I see.
Anyway, go ahead.
We have to pay for plastic bags out here, and every time I do, I just think that's a good gesture, but what about all the rest of the plastic in the market?
Yeah, there's a statistic that I won't remember exactly, but a huge percentage of the plastic that's polluting the world comes from other countries besides
China.
the U.S.
Yep.
I mean, we're getting smog
like
over here from
85%.
China. We're getting smog from China now.
Mm-hmm.
Pedo wood.
Yuck.
Okay, I do have I'm kind of stockpiling a couple stories here. I don't know if they're any good or not, but I mean, some of this is just fun just to look at the headlines. I mean, this one that's Obama snaps, pay attention after people apparently won't get off their phones. He's out there desperately campaigning, and
yeah, that was a few days ago, but I thought that was great. It's like, the guy has no authority, and people know it.
And he's boring them, and earlier in the early part of this article, he's talking about. Well, here the site reported that Obama said "I" 56 times, "me" 5 times, and "my" 4 times, talking about himself a total of 65 times, or once about every 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh!
So it's not surprising to me that about how Obama supporters think Trump is an egomaniac and can't see that it's actually Obama. I don't get it.
There was that one situation last week where they were reporting how people are what are they doing? They're ripping on Trump because of his policies benefiting the wealthy, the tax cuts, and then Obama comes up and he's trying to take credit for them. So it's like, what are you going to pick your poison? I guess.
Go figure.
Yeah, well, I think these people's minds are broken. They don't even understand a logical inconsistency when they see it right in front of their face.
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for them. There's so many people that are just so busy they don't have time to pay attention to this. And they're trying to put food in their mouth and trying to make something of themselves. And then you've got all these people exploiting that.
Nike customers protest Colin Kaepernick announcement. Yay!
That is good news.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if this is actually new, but I remember it happening. I remember the videos going around of people like putting their Nikes into bonfires and stuff.
I threw 2 pairs of baseball cleats away.
What have you done to protest Nike? Oh, that's a good meme right there.
Their stocks dropped.
Okay, I'm putting that one into our meme.
Their stocks dropped. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just putting that in.
Well, it dropped initially. Right. Made it back. Didn't it make it back?
They did. And, I thought, well, This isn't like one of those fake polls that at MSN, MSM polls all the time and everything else. So it's hard to screw with stock numbers, but
but you got big deep pockets that are going to bail them out.
Hey, Maureen, why don't you talk us through this one?
Yeah, he's the one who funded the Fusion GPS, the dossier. Actually, that came out today.
Mattis to Iran. Don't even think about taking us on. What do you think of that?
Mad Dog Mattis. He's my boy.
It looks like there's a little drool hanging out of the side of his mouth.
He's growling.
Mad dog. Mm-hmm. Look at that cold stare in his face.
Defense Secretary Jim Mattis on Monday warned Iran against threatening the U.S. with a retaliation for a terror attack over the weekend that killed at least 25. Yeah, was it really a terror attack? Was it the other way around? We attacked the terrorist, most likely. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have charged that the U.S., Saudi Arabia, and Israel were behind the attack Saturday in the oil province of Khuzestan and vowed to take revenge. But Mattis said it was ludicrous to suggest we had anything to do with it. So who knows what that story is going to be. I can't wait until all this stuff is over and we can finally declassify some documents and find out what's really happening. I mean, we like to think of ourselves as being the ones in the know, but we don't really know that much. We just know Deep State's bad. They did a bunch of bad stuff. There's something to do with the church involved in it. I don't know the details. I mean, there's a lot of speculation running around. But even then, even with all the speculation, there's not a whole lot of the picture that's really filled in.
I think we're going with the premise of where you smell smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm. And everything is so compartmentalized. I think those of us that are keen to connect the dots, we're actually way ahead of the people that are supposedly in the know, because whatever part they're in the know of, if they're an insider, they only know that one little piece. Yeah. So if you kind of look for these connections, you actually know more about what's going on, but you can't prove it usually.
I wonder what Hannity really knows. I mean, he only tells us what he's allowed to tell us, but I wonder what he really knows.
I think he knows.
Well, all he would know would be what people tell him, because, I mean, that's his role, right? He's not a true insider. He's a reporter. Or
I don't know. I think that he is a real insider. I think just like you got all those bad guys that are like, Anderson Cooper or whatever, they're deep state. I think there's white hats that are embedded in there, too. I think Hannity is a white hat, embedded.
Yeah, but he's in the information business. He's an insider. I agree with that. But
no, what if he's really a spy, like a good guy spy?
Well, okay. I mean, okay. He'd have to have, in order to be an effective spy, you'd have to be like cloaked, but he's not. So I don't know.
I'm surprised he's not getting hounded more like incident the other day.
Okay. So now we have this news from the 24th, a couple of days ago. Today is the 26th, so El Paso border wall project to begin. So that's kind of cool. There's a story here saying that the wall's going up in El Paso. It's probably going to be
there's
started.
So much going on in El Paso too.
Yeah, so the wall is probably going to be started at different points. It's not going to they're not going to do it in perfect sequence from left to right or something. They're going to just kind of start constructing it from all different points, right? So
it depends. Logistically wise, if you're into saving money, which the government usually is not, but if you're into saving money, logistically wise, you're going to start it at one spot and just move on down the line. It's gonna cost you a lot less money to just move everything slowly day by day than to have.
That kind of assumes that you're only using one construction company, and that one construction company is small enough they can't have multiple crews acting simultaneously in multiple locations.
Well, yeah, this is true. But even if you have only one construction company that has the contract, they're not going to, and even if they're big enough to go out and have several points of embarkment, they're not going to, because money-wise, it's just logistically, you're better off one spot and just moving
Why
from
are
that
you
one
saying
spot.
that? Why would that be the case?
Why would that be the case?
Yeah.
Because instead of hiring 3 cranes at one time, you can have one crane, and instead of moving that crane or moving loads of materials to 3 different spots in the state, you're into one spot. Everybody is housed right there.
Yeah, but don't we want we want them to be
there.
using like 20 cranes at the same time, right?
Yeah, but I think with the stage, what we're really looking at here is not exactly prototypes, but sort of beta tests or initial sections of the wall. Yeah. They're trying to basically get a method down. Once you've got a method down, then you can just replicate it from A to Z. But they're not there yet.
Mm-hmm. Next story. Steve Bannon wants to mobilize and unite Europe's populace against the elites. This is actually not a new story. I mean, this is kind of something he's been on to for a while, I think. But they're just, for some reason, a couple of days ago, they started talking about it. But yeah, he's out there fighting Soros. Go get him. Go get him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically that's the level that he's operating at, right? He's trying to operate at a Soros level, taking him on and the stuff that he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's a CNN story. What do you think of this? CNN. Do you think there's any truth to it? Maybe. Secret files suggest Catholic bishops shielded alleged predator priests from the public. This might actually be the kind of story that the CNN would actually report on truthfully. Maybe.
Why?
Because it makes Christians look bad.
Okay. I was being serious, and that's a good answer, because otherwise that's New World Order crap, and they're usually behind New World Order crap, and yeah, you're right. That does make sense.
Another aspect of that is that any good liar is not going to lie 100% of the time. They've got to tell you the truth enough to get you to believe, they're really sticking their necks out there and going against the Catholic Church. Boy, I sure trust them.
Yeah, to the fools that believe.
Mm-hmm.
So these records are stashed by diocese. I can't say that word. It's a funny word. I always stumble over that. The plural version is even worse. But the records are stashed by the diocese officials in what they call the secret archives, and we are all about that because we're the secret squirrels trying to find the secret archives.
Yes.
So confidential files of living priests who are still being monitored, or the well, which contains case files that are to be shredded. Part of the trove comes back from a thick black binder kept in like binders full of women. It's a thick black binder kept in the closet next to a vacuum cleaner, according to a source familiar with the matter. The source told CNN that the binder is a 300-page briefing book prepared by the diocese attorney for Malone when he became bishop in 2012. Could be some, they haven't really given us enough information to have it. I mean, why would they lie about what they've given us so far? It doesn't really say a lot. I mean, it gives the guy's name, this Malone guy. Malone has resisted calls for him to resign. The shepherd does not desert a flock at a difficult time. But Kathy Spangler, Director of Communications for the diocese, responded to a handful of questions Tuesday via email. Asked why the diocese released the names of only 42 priests when internal documents show knowledge of up to 200 priests with allegations against them, she said, because the list of 42 priests were priests against whom we had substantiated allegations. Well, why does that same standard not apply to Kavanaugh? Oh, I mentioned Kavanaugh again. But there it is. I mean, why not the same standard? You want it to be substantiated allegations. So
because they're hypocrites. They're all hypocrites.
Well, and so much of this stuff, I think, is used for blackmail. I mean, and I missed if there was a reason why they kept the binder, but even thinking about the whole Bill Cosby thing, yeah, he probably was guilty, but maybe he thought he wouldn't be prosecuted because he was playing the game, and then all of a sudden when he stopped playing the game, they did use his information against him. So all this stuff gets really complex and convoluted.
Well, I would think it's pretty hard to prove a rape case unless you have like a rape kit done or something like that. I don't know how you would prove that otherwise.
Yeah, no, you're supposed to go immediately to the police, and so that it's documented. I mean, you might have skin under your fingernails and things like that. You're right, a rape kit, yeah.
But yes, 36 years later, there is no evidence, none, not one iota of evidence, not unless you have a child.
You're right. And I know people are traumatized. I know that is real.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You just have to balance that with, do you want justice? If you want justice, you have to know that you have to act immediately, maybe before you've resolved your trauma. And so people need to. You can't accuse somebody this much later and expect it to go anywhere, and expect people to be, extend to you like tons of compassion.
And at the most inopportune time. I mean, it wasn't last year, and it wasn't a year from now. It was right now, right at this time. Give me a break. Yes, absolutely. No doubt at all in my mind. I would play judge, juror, and executioner on this one. Absolutely, no doubt about it.
You guys ready to talk about Little Adam Schiff?
How about something fun?
Never.
This is fun.
He is so annoying.
Adam Schiff warns Trump.
Let's dive in head first.
Look at this title. Adam Schiff warns Trump that firing Rosenstein will nail him for the obstruction of justice. Yeah.
Whatever.
Adam Schiff, he's tough guy, right here.
Well, you broke up. What did he say?
Well, he's just saying that he's warning Trump that firing Rosenstein will nail him for obstruction of justice.
Oh,
I mean, we knew that. He's stating the obvious here, and he's acting like he's some kind of tough guy, and he's got kind of, I don't know. I thought it was funny just because he's taking the stance like he's the guy in charge or something.
What are the chances he's going to go before a tribunal?
100%.
Well, I hope.
That standard hotel thing in California he's associated with, that's pretty wild.
What's that?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, that's some Q stuff that has to do with Adam Schiff's connection to this traffic related hotel called the Standard Hotel.
Yeah, it had to do with his male prostitute friends or something like that. And there's
sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then that the lady who ran the Standard Hotel, and then the gentleman who ran their overseas Standard Hotel, they went down in that little helicopter several months, actually probably been 3 or 4 months ago, but it was after it started coming more and more to the surface about that the kid that was being pimped out by one of Schiff and Hillary's buddies down there. I think his last name started with a B, but it all revolves around the Standard Hotel. So literally they killed off the 2 people that were helping with child trafficking, those kind of things that were going on at the hotel.
Yep.
Yeah, they pulled a Clinton.
Yep.
And the list grows.
And all that happened at the same time those other helicopter crashes were occurring over in where they fly to Puerto Rico, where that family was killed during the holidays. Remember all the helicopter crashes that were going on this last year?
Oh yeah, plane crashes, everything.
Yeah, this was all around that time frame. Literally, planes were falling out of the sky.
I turned up the speed of the memes. I wanted the memes to go faster. Not like it matters,
like
but
you stole it.
I just want them to go faster. Let's play a few memes because some of them are pretty good, and it seems like
so. The more bluster and acting like they're in control or the boss, like Schiff is, it's like it's obvious that the more guilty they are, they're fighting for their lives.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite one tonight.
The Huma Hillary one?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Have you guys seen the one that it has that only, the Chrissy Blasey Ford high school photo with the dark glasses, and then the dark glasses in the next split frame are on top of her head, and you see it's actually Hillary Clinton's face? I love that one. I love that one. That's great.
Hey, I would like to bring up a little something that you guys might not see where you're at in this great country of ours, but the Iowa governor Reynolds ordered the flags at half staff to honor fallen Marine for tomorrow. Lance Corporal John D. Killen III of Davenport, Iowa, went missing in action when his helicopter crashed in Vietnam on June 30th, 1967. The 18-year-old's remains were identified in March 2017 and returned to the United States for burial, along with the remains of two other Marines also killed in the crash. All three will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery, Virginia, on Thursday, September 27th. They will receive full military honors.
Cool.
But isn't that,
Wow,
I bet hardly, I don't know. I don't know if it'll make the mainstream media or not, but I just, it's cool that this, we have a nice.
Just I can't see that happening under Obama. That couldn't have happened.
Right.
Before.
Right, absolutely. So, yep, Kim Reynolds, the governor, the lieutenant governor, took over for
Branstad,
the one that is now the ambassador to China, right?
Yep. Branstad.
Branstad, exactly. And she's doing a good job.
Any update on when the release of the FISA documents?
How about this one?
I haven't heard anything.
Comcast shares fall after $40 billion bid to buy Sky stake. Because that's something that the president actually made a reference to when Sky News journalist asked him a question. He says, good luck on that purchase. And I didn't know what he was talking about. I don't know if it's his Comcast business. I don't know. I don't know if Sky did Sky buy Comcast or did Comcast buy Sky? I'm not sure.
Looks like Comcast is trying to buy Sky.
Well, then, I don't know. So CEO Robert Murdoch's company has already agreed to sell its 39% stake in Sky to Walt Disney.
Oh boy!
But not the new.
Yeah. So anyway, we got.
Is this old?
When is this? September 24, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So
that would be the end of Fox.
I saved the best picture till last. This is for you guys. John Brennan, a sociopath or not? What do you think? I would say,
without a doubt.
So it says, is John Brennan insane? It would appear that John Brennan is a crazy person. His tweets, since Trump has been elected president, would place him in the loony bin if he was not part of the deep state. The double standards of the left are more for mental health issues as well as criminal issues. His unhinged rantings have caused extremely troubling trepidations about the vetting this country does for law enforcement and our intelligence agencies. However, let us concentrate on something else that seems to get little coverage about our former CIA director. The fact that he voted for the Communist Party in 1976. How did that pass the vetting process? How was he allowed to head our CIA when he was known as a communist sympathizer?
Liberals don't care about that.
Well, they actually want us. They want them to be. They're commies. They're not even hiding the fact that they're commies anymore. They went commie back in the. What is it? The Students for Democratic Society or something like that. Where does that go? The Society for I don't remember. SDS.
SDS, I know.
Yeah, that was the new left.
Yeah, and back in that day, couldn't they say that they were infiltrating him? I don't know if Brennan had a cover story. At least in retrospect, we know he really became one. But at the time, maybe he had a cover story that he was infiltrating him.
That was my favorite part, I think, of the president's speech before the UN yesterday, was what he said about communism and socialism. I thought that was brilliant. Excellent.
Yeah, on WikiLeaks several years ago, I'm not sure which leak it was, because the first time I'd heard of WikiLeaks was whenever all the Podesta emails and stuff came out. But John Brennan's, I think it's his the SF-86, or yeah. Anyway, basically it's his background check before, whenever it's getting ready to be turned in for them to start doing his security clearance. That's on WikiLeaks. You can go back and see everyone that he was associated with whenever he ran the business. The whole shebang is on there.
Wow.
You should look at it, because there's some pretty bizarre stuff on there. Where he's been whenever he lived in Saudi Arabia. That's whenever he converted to radical Islam, whenever he was in Saudi Arabia for all those years.
Okay, it took me a second to get my close thing going here. I still got my audio's too loud. I think that music going sound. There we go. Okay. All right. So anyway, that was that episode of Secret Squirrels. Hope everybody had fun. Whatever audience out there, thanks for stopping in and spending some time with us. And thanks to all of our panel members. Got some different people on here. Abigail and Arrow are newbies. Never come in here before, as I know. Oh, wait, there's Pinky. He didn't even say anything. Pinky! Aren't you even going to say hi? Say hi. Come on. Hi. Bye. Say hi, bye. No? He's not going to do it. All right.
What are we going to do tomorrow night, Brain?
What are we going to do tomorrow night? We're gonna
same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world, right?
Yeah, we're gonna drive it like we stole it. Is what we're gonna do.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Pinky in the Brain.
Is that why you picked that name, Pinky in the Brain?
Exactly.
Oh, look at this.
I used to love that show.
Okay, so I don't know. That's all we got. Nothing too fancy. We had like one UFO story in there. You got to have some UFO stories to keep things interesting, because that's the fun stuff, right? No?
Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah,
I like it. I like it
tonight.
I blame it on Errol. It's all his fault. He was trying to make us like
my fault.
Just tell the truth or something. We're supposed to be just joking around, man. We're just having fun, poking fun at the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory stigma.
What are you, a truther or something?
Birther,
No.
they call it. That's believing that Obama was born in Kenya. Are you kidding me?
The problem is that Brain was drinking coffee instead of Captain Morgan tonight.
That is the problem.
That could be it.
That's the problem on a couple different fronts.
Mm-hmm.
So
This hour of Secret Squirrels was brought to you by Sanka.
Keurig, for those who want their coffee now. Yeah. I like that Ronald Reagan meme because it's on a t-shirt, and I really want a t-shirt with Ronald Reagan on it saying, "I smell hippies." Sounds like a good. Okay.
He was usually a lot happier than that. I don't remember him having that look on his face.
I just like that look, though. I mean, because it says "I smell hippies." I mean, come on, it's so good.
I get it. It's good.
Okay, but I really do appreciate y'all guys showing up and having some fun with us. See you tomorrow, I guess. Right?
Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Bye all.
Good night.